12 fishing brands of Christmas. That's right. Fishing and baits for Christmas 2024. And we're going to start off and kick off the 12 brands of Christmas this year with one from right here in our backyard, Drop Zone Tackle. Most people will chase smallmouth, fish Smith Mountain Lake, and fish for smallmouth in the DMV are pretty familiar with Drop Zone Tackle, especially if you like the drop shot. And so that presentation is a pretty focused on, dedicated presentation for a lot of anglers and with the tackle company. So let's get into it. Let's talk about a little bit. First of all, you can't have a good drop shot without really good high quality weights in your terminal tackle. And one of the unique aspects of Drop Zone, which I think they pretty much have the best on the market, is your rattling drop shot. Okay, your rattling drop shot bait. Okay, weights for your drop shot. Okay, and they come in all kinds of sizes with two different variations on how they clip on. Really great for other things as well, but for the most part, you've got them. I prefer the eighth. The eighth or the quarter tends to be for where I am, my sweet spot. But they got them. They got them 3/8. They got them half. They got some big old. If you're in that reservoir or that deep water and you want to get it down, then you want to roll with obviously roll with those bigger sizes. But those things are crazy. But like I said, the eighth and the quarter tend to be what, or maybe 3/16. Tend to be what I like to focus on. The most in that with those. Now the next two, I gotta admit, have pretty much been kind of like a craze. In our region, I don't know if it's reached out further. But for definitely here, both for largemouth and for smallmouth, are basically two areas that Dennis has concentrated on, and that would be the rattle rig, which is basically your Chica rig from Japan, and what makes that unique as opposed to, like, a lot of people would ask, like, the differences between this presentation and, say, a Tokyo rig. This is geared more towards the bottom contact, as the Tokyo rig is kind of like, it's a little bit, does have contact with the bottom, but it's kind of more off the bottom. And also how it's actually adjusted with those two split rings too, which calls for like free movement. See the free movement of that. So you can rig your soft plastic, and you're really going to get a lot out of that. So that's a really, really popular technique in the last couple of years. Again, like I said, has its roots in Japan, like so many of the presentations. And what's really, really great about that is the size. Like, here's the unique thing about Drop Zone with this: is a lot of companies will have maybe one Tokyo rig or one that the Tokyo rig also had. What's the difference, right? This is attached to the split rings here. Your Tokyo rig usually has the wire and then the weight down here, okay? And so it's a lot different. But you certainly can intertwine, mix up your presentations, to find the right one, what they're looking for, where they are, if they're suspended a little bit off the bottom, that kind of thing. But the unique aspect is with Drop Zone is they've got them across the board. So they come in 2-packs. So they come in 2-packs like this, okay? So again, hear that rattle. It's like, what, again, attract, lure in, entice a strike, right? And so you've got 2-packs, but you've got them in the 5/0, the 4/0, the 3/0. So really is pick your poison in terms of, if you want to go with a big soft plastic, if you want to go with a more smaller presentation like we do for smallmouth, you can get that weight, but then you can also dial in that preferred EWG style like hook that you want for that presentation. And these are, like, as you can see, these are VMC hooks. You can see that on there. They're VMC hooks, so they got quality hooks with the rattle rigs, aka the Jika rig. One of the probably not as talked about as much, but it's definitely a growing presentation, in our area. Now the last one was the craze last year. Definitely. Most guys got a shot on it last year at the expo, got to order it, and it came in, early spring for a lot of guys, and a lot of guys got their heads around it, and that is the Rattlehead. The Rattlehead. Okay? You can hear that. There's a rattle inside that head, hence the Rattlehead. You got 3/8, 3/16, quarter ounce. Like I said, I really prefer the quarter ounce. Quarter ounce rattlehead. And the sizes, I think there might be a half. I'm not positive if it goes that high. I don't have a half here in front of me. But again, it's like just that added little rattle as you're working your jit, you're on the bottom, and as you're working it up to entice that strike, right? And that's really obviously the common theme for drop zone tackle is that rattling aspect, that noise, and that something's different in the water that's going to attract and entice those fish to come in. So that's just 3 of the awesome baits, really terminal tackle, right? Not really baits, but like terminal tackle that you can utilize with your soft plastics, okay, to increase your catch rates, okay? And I'll be really interested to see if you're in the DMV, that's the District of Maryland and Virginia. I know Drop Zone attends a lot of the expos in January and February. That's a big expo season here in our region, like in Richmond, places like Richmond, Virginia. I think Roanoke has one this year at Star City Expo. There's quite a few. So just check those expos out. If you don't, you want to swing by, talk to Dennis. You want to talk to the guys at Drop Zone Tackle. Take a look at it. I'm not sure what's going to be, if there's anything new this year at the expo. We'll find out here in a couple weeks coming up here to see if there's another great addition to the rattle and drop shot weights, the rattle rig rattling Jika rig, okay, with VMC hooks, and then the pretty infamous in our parts, the rattle head, which is your rattling shaky head, all from Drop Zone Tackle. If you haven't subscribed to this, if you're into smallmouth chasing, smallmouth, you can be a largemouth guy too. It's all great. It's all fishing information, presentations, techniques, baits, custom baits, things you're probably not going to see at most of your major tackle stores. We talk about it in the newsletter. I'll put that link in the description, and you can join that newsletter. And I'll cover all these baits a little bit more in detail, and there's a lot other information in there about river fishing and all that good stuff for you guys that love to chase smallmouth. So that's all I got. 12 brands baits of Christmas 2024. Drop Zone Tackle. Check them out.